Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ink Spotlights from Comix Wellspring. This is the series where we shine the spotlight on immensely talented creators who print with us. Today, we're joined by Mark Dooley, and we're so excited to talk to him about his project, some of his history, and a little bit more. Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show today. How are you?
Thank you for having me. And I want to say you guys do an amazing job with my work. When we opened that first box, when I sent you the first issues, I just cried.
I feel you.
This is how I've always imagined my work to look.
Oh, that's
And uh,
beautiful.
so thank you so much for all the work you guys put in.
Oh,
So
thank you. I mean, it's creators like you who make amazing work that we're lucky enough to connect with and print and work with. So
thank
it's our pleasure to like bring that to you. And I know the feeling when I got the first box of the punk anthology a year ago, I just like couldn't believe that, when you finally get your first package in the mail after all these years, you're just like, you can't
you.
believe your book is alive in physical form sometimes.
We always try to do a video of when the box comes, and me and my wife just open it up and go, "Here you go."
Yeah.
So,
Whenever you get your next order in, please do, and we'll share it everywhere as well.
oh,
And
okay, sure, yeah.
speaking of
We
your
just
book,
did. We just did a little mini video of opening up Mark and D number 3, which actually features D in the starring role of the comic.
oh,
So,
no,
because I figured everybody's tired of hearing about me. Yeah. Put upon artist, bullied anyone when he was a kid. So, and it's time. Okay, it's time for the wife's time. So,
well, tell us all about Mark and Dee and their adventures.
well, it's called The Actual Semi True Adventures of Mark and Dee. Uh, Emphasis on semi. I even have a disclaimer in my cover. If you don't believe it, well, that's up to you. Is the caveat emptor. So anyway, but it's an autobiographical series. It's all about me, my wife, our friends at the former Comic Cave. Sadly, it's no longer an entity here in Columbus, but for this comic's sake, it will go on. It will expand. It will become more popular with every issue.
Yes.
So, but we do 2 different comics. We do the contemporary series, which is a standard comic book format, and then the other is a collection of my comic strips I run on my Facebook page. And we're gaining on 400 strips
Oh,
right
wow.
now from the last 10 years.
That's
So
amazing.
that series is called Genesis of a Fanboy, and it covers the day I was born to my growing up during the Batmania period, which was absolutely a blowout. It was like a revelation. I always tell my friends, my mom gave birth to me in 1956, but my life began in 1966 when that show came on the air.
Oh,
In
wow.
that time, my life basically began. Bullies stopped bullying me. They realized there was some kind of worth to the comics and me sitting around doodling and everything. And in that 2 year period, I learned about Marvel comics. That was my grandparents' fault. I told them to get me a Justice League comic, and what did they bring me? The Avengers. I didn't know them people.
Yeah.
What in the heck? Look at this hippie with the hammer, called Majoner.
Oh, I love
So,
that so much.
but anyway, and it was great until the show got canceled, and it was back to business as usual.
Yeah.
So, but in that course of time, I eventually met my wife, who was my next door neighbor. We were both 12 years old, and it was just like, magic happened
So
right there.
sweet.
So it's basically all about how we first met, how we got through our high school years, and just and all the wonderful things that helped me grow as a comic artist, and meeting some of my great comic heroes. So that was my comic book artists idols.
Mhm.
and I got to meet Neil Adams, Dick Giordano, John Byrne. John Byrne
Hmm.
actually mistook me for Mark Waid
That's
one time.
awesome. That's amazing.
We do have a resemblance. The people mistook me at conventions for Mark Waid. And I
I
said,
love it.
you got the wrong guy. They almost took one convention. They almost took me to his table. So they thought, oh, we've been waiting for you. Come on over here. And I went over and I said, oh, wait a minute. You guys think I'm Mark Wade, don't you? He says, oh my God, you look so much alike. So
That's amazing. That's so great.
and then my friend Tony Isabella talked me into helping him with roasting Mark Waid, who was the star of the he was the guest of honor. So I was his evil son.
Even better.
Hello,
Oh my god.
baby. How you doing? Take me to Florida with you.
That's
It was,
amazing.
in the meantime, Mark is forming the noose out of his microphone line and says, "Oh God, please don't hurt me."
Oh, that's rich. Oh man, that's so great.
But those are the kinds of stories I want to do in my comics, and but I also want to touch on we don't do superheroes so much because it's basically about ordinary people getting through life, and they want to be superheroes. A lot of them want to be superheroes, but they don't realize they are superheroes. They just don't wear the union suits or get in the cosmic slobber
Yeah,
knockers.
that's
You're not going to get any of these, maybe. So,
that's great.
and they're characters that everybody can relate to. That they probably have someone like that in their lives, and just friendship and love and peace, uh, and people that have your back. And that's what I come across with all my characters. One of the things I do have, this is our Christmas issue,
Oh, wow,
and
cool.
it is definitely not only that kind of story, it is also one of the most violent things I have ever done in my life. I mean, there's a stabbing, there's a back alley brawl, there's a guy getting his package kicked into the next county and stuff. But it ends with a Christmas miracle. So, as the celestial toy maker would say, well, then that's all right then.
That's perfect. That is
but
great.
um, but anyway, but it is absolutely one of the best things I think I've ever created, and I just it's the highlight of my early series right now. My early history as a comics creator. So
That's great.
and it's for the first time it's all in color because this was all most of this is very old material that I just decided one day I I pretty much mastered Photoshop. Let's color it.
Nice.
And it took a while. It was a slow process, but we finally right now I'm wrapping up issue number 4 of the Mark and D comic, and we I've just finished the older material, and now to fill out the rest of that story, we need a 6 pager filler. And I'm right now I'm creating that, and we're about midway through it, and then hopefully we'll have it sent to you guys, and bingo bang.
That's
So
right. That's
we're
so
hoping.
exciting, man. Like there's so much to like just digest right there too. Just basing it so much off your life and giving those like shared moments and experiences, and you've
Oh
definitely done so much and you've seen so much comic book history. I'm sure there's
yeah.
like some great things in those trips as well and in
Oh,
your stories. Um
and one of the things I really want to touch on, I really we have done an LGBTQ story
cool.
about my life in junior high, and we also touch on sadly something that me and my brothers went through, abuse in our household on the behalf of certain relatives. I don't want to get too much into
Mhm.
that, but it will be in the story because it was the evolution to getting to where I am, and
Exactly.
but through that I met all of these lifelong friends who also shared my love of comics and showed me the collecting end of things. And they sadly some of them are gone now, and but the things they taught me will always stay with me. And I was just so lucky to find people like that because for a long time I thought I am by myself, and the only person who's really supporting me in this is my mom and the woman who would marry me.
Honestly,
So
that's one of the biggest things we try to focus on as Comix Wellspring and as a show is showing that there is a community out there and show
yeah,
that there's like-minded people. And that's why we love making these spotlights too, to get more creators out there so more people can find each other and find that
yeah,
community and find those people with the like-minded interests and comics and within the same region and whatnot. Like we want to bring people
yeah,
together because of stuff like that. Because like with me, comics saved my life as well. I don't know what I'd be doing if I, hadn't started making books and pouring myself into art. I think I'd be a very miserable, sad person. But luckily, it's there to like highlight and let us know, give us a way to tell these stories and express ourselves and find these people and also reflect on the things that may have hurt us, but also help us grow in life too.
yes,
And being
yeah,
able to look back and write on those things and kind of re-experience it, kind of, you hurt, but you also kind of heal at the same time too,
oh,
when you're
this
making these
cheaper
stories.
in therapy.
Honestly,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, it really is. I've compared the
I
bills.
think, well, a
Believe
lot of
me.
doctor bills. So I
Honestly,
don't want to have to go run my shrink every time. Okay, I'll just draw it on here.
yeah, I feel you on that. That's
There you go. What do you
beautiful to
think of this,
hear.
Doc? So
Oh,
anyway,
that's
but yeah, and we have so much. I have so much more to go, and hopefully I can stick around for a while. I'm at 68 now, and but the thing is, I waited so long because I had to experience life
yeah,
to begin with,
great
and
explanation. Honestly,
yeah, and now I'm at the point where I think we can move forward, get this done, and I'm pretty much at the height of my powers now. So because I've copied off so many other people.
I feel you there.
But my wife just loves. We have a scene with a couple of policemen, and she's a big fan of Adam 12. So I drew the cops to look like Reed Malloy.
That's so cool.
So,
Oh my gosh.
one Columbus 12, one
Yes.
Columbus
Yeah.
12. See the abandoned station wagon and the abandoned shopping centers.
I used to watch
So
Adam 12 all the time with my dad. It was the
oh
classic,
yeah, yeah.
definitely. Well, where can people find all of this work and your art and your projects?
Well, well, we do post regularly on my Facebook page, Mark C. Dooley. We are working on getting an actual dedicated website soon as we can afford it.
Yeah.
And but we also have a blog spot, deboss1 blogspot.com, where I basically store all of our comic strips in order. You might have to backtrack a little bit to get to the very beginning of the series, but I've had a lot of luck with that, and so people, I don't get a lot of visitors to it, but I try to point it out whenever I can, so you can see the comic strip as it evolved from the very beginning to the most recent comic strips. I had to go learn about how to draw horses. I never had to do that. It's never been like I can draw cats and dogs and things like that. And then we had to do a dedicated story to my wife and her childhood, and she was raised around horses. So I finally decided, okay, well, I'll put you in a Lone Ranger outfit, and you can ride your little brownies through the desert with your 6 guns blazing and stuff.
Love that. Oh my god. I've heard that from
So
so many artists too, is that once I got to the horse, I had to really figure out some anatomy and such. And
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but
it's an
but
awkward
it's
creature.
coming along really good. So, well, fortunately, I have a book on horse anatomy, so that's not a big problem. So, but
Amazing. We're gonna drop all those links right down here in the product description, as well in the episode. I don't know why I said product. Episode description right down here. That way people can check out your blogspot and kind of backtrack too, because I love seeing the history of progression in art, and I think that's very good for indie creators to see that you start at one place and you will grow, and you just keep at it like you've kept at it so well. And
yeah,
then we'll see that advancement.
one of the things I experimented with, something I'd always wanted to do. I don't know if you've ever heard of celestial navigations. It was run by oh shoot, the guy, the fellow who played Clint Eastwood's brother in the Any Which Way You Can movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, uh, and he in the early '70s. He did this series that just I heard this recording, and it was called The Intersection. And about a year ago, I just decided, you know what? I love this so much. And I'll probably never be able to print it, but I want to do an interpretation of that because it's kind of like Humphrey Bogart meets Star Wars.
Ooh.
It was kind of a strange thing. It starts off like a real film noir thing, and then it starts suddenly evolving into a meetup with a Lauren Bacall type character. And of course, I drew myself and Dina into the thing, and then it just starts evolving where he starts talking about, I remember years ago on my home planet, and then it just goes off into this really strange thing, but it all ends up with one of the most romantic moments I've ever read in my life. I cry every time I listen to it,
Oh man, I gotta
where
check that out.
they're sitting in an intersection just waiting for the light to change, and she gave me a kiss and said, "Well, let's go together if you wanna," and he goes, and we did, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful ending.
I gotta check that out.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
you can find it on YouTube. It's just The Intersection
Hmm.
by Celestial Navigations, and it's beautiful to listen to. So anyway,
I love having creators that like not only recommend their work but give us some other homework to check out as well, because you can never
oh
find too much inspiration, and you can never find too many cool things because you never know what's going to spark someone else and also inspire them.
yeah,
That's super exciting, Mark. I'm so hyped for everything you've been doing. I love the history behind it. We're going to have to bring you back on Inspired Inc. to really digest so much of this history that you have, and
okay,
there's so much that's changed in the comic book universe and the indie universe. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. I'm also a big
okay.
Batman 66 fan, and I see your Neil
All
Adams and everything back there. So lots to
yeah,
talk about.
we were just at the Permanent Museum in Logansport
Oh,
just last week. A permanent museum. It's dedicated to the Batman TV show. You'll get to go into the Wayne Foyer, play with the switch on the
oh my
Shakespeare
gosh.
bus. The door opens and there's the bat poles, and but the coolest thing is you get to do the bat climb.
Oh, amazing.
And
Sold.
oh, that was just so cool because you if you brought somebody with you, they can be the person in the window, and you can just do the thing.
That's amazing. Oh my
I've been
gosh.
looking for a Joker. I think I found her.
That's perfect. Oh man, I gotta make a trip up there. That sounds like too much fun.
Oh,
Um,
it's great. It's great.
Mark, this has been an awesome spotlight. I didn't even realize more time went by than usual. But hey, thank you
Oh,
so much for talking to us, for just letting us know what's important about making books too.
oh, that's
That's
okay.
one of the best things ever. Is just thinking about life and resonating with it and being able to share those experiences with others. You never know what that's going to do to someone, how that's going to impact them. So I thank you for sharing your stories and your life and keeping it up, and showing us that we can always keep doing this and comics are forever. And I love
Right.
that so much. Mark, thank you so much for stepping in the spotlight today. Do you want to
Thank
give
you.
any last shout outs or anything before we sign off?
Just our next the next project we've got available. We're launching Kickstarter this weekend, this
Ooh,
Friday, and we our latest issue is going to be available for that. This is it. It stars my wife,
love it.
and she. This is the issue where God teaches her how to fly.
It's a great cover. It's a really great
She
cover.
just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, it happened. I don't believe that happened." Whatever you want to believe, dear. Okay.
Amazing. I hope everyone checks out the Kickstarter. We'll drop a link down here as well so you
Okay.
could go and back this project. Mark, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you
Okay.
next
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. I appreciate your having me on.